celebrations from people like Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, Kel Surprise were a little OTT, but again, it's a professional sport, and you have got to play to the whistle. But I don't think the whistle should have been blown. I think it was a perfectly fair situation. It's unfortunate, but I think it was perfectly fair.
Yeah. Now, I think at that point when that try was scored, I think it reflected fairly on how the game was being played. Yes, Hull had some territory, but I don't think they ever looked threatening with that territory. Whereas Saints, to me, looked more threatening when they had the ball, when they were attacking, especially in that first half. And actually, I was shocked when Saints went for 2 more than I was when Hull had gone for 2 earlier on in the game, because I thought Saints were well on top. But yeah, they were much the better team in that first half, despite the first 10 minutes being a lot of good ball for Hull.
Yeah, it was a good game though. A good cup tie. Decent to watch, and the scoreline slightly overstates it, but it was generally a good match.
Yeah, well, Hull's comeback, actually, some of the tries they scored were, 1, good, but 2, surprisingly straightforward for a Saints defence that doesn't give up anything. And I don't know if it's some of the things people have mentioned about Saints, not having as many players and stuff at the moment, but I thought the spirit in Hull FC, I can understand why some of the fans were really proud of their side after the game. I think some of that pride came out of this feeling of the injustice of it all, but at the same time, they did well to come back into it. And when Cam Scott went over for that try, you did feel that they were in the ascendancy all of a sudden, and then the 40-20 came, and in and around that was when Satai was back on the field and actually making meters. I don't think in his first stint he did a lot with. He got the chance to do as much with the ball, other than 1 or 2 drives. But in his stint at that point, he was really good at pushing the Saints defenders back and sucking the defence in, which maybe made some of the opportunities that came for the tries. But I did think that Hull had a sniff, and I never thought that I would be thinking that at half time.
Yeah.
The Lachlan Coote try, was a bit kind of like unfair on the scoreline, but it doesn't matter, does it? Points difference doesn't matter in a cup game.
No, it's
tell that to the Cass ladies, but it doesn't. Who stood out for you?
Do you mean the York ladies?
No, the Cass ones. Yeah, the Cass ones who took 2 penalty goals. Any individual stand out for you in this one?
I think Jake Connor had one of his on games rather than his off games. I think Sneed stood up well, although apart from the comedy moment against Womsey, Kelsbury. We're going to talk about Wellesby again, filling in again, plugging every hole going.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things as well for Saints was James Roby went off in the first half.
Yeah, I remember seeing this. Can you remember when that happened before?
No, the last time I feel like that would have happened, other than when other than an injury, I think it would have been when he was used to start on the bench back in the Cunningham era, and then come on. But and interestingly, they kept Dodd on for some of the time that Roby was on. Clearly, they felt they needed a bit more ball players on the field at that point in time, but maybe not taking Dodd off soon enough contributed to some of that drive that Hull got when they started to pick things up. But yeah, I was surprised by that. I thought Morgan Knowles was very good, and Nguama and Wellesby were the star players for me for the Saints. I thought Nguama had some really strong involvement in this game. Tough carries at important times, made a bit of ground at important times. The try assist that he ended up with, that they were sort of talking about in the commentary because they'd been saying how good he was, I thought they were a bit, he was lucky with that. There was a touch of luck that went backwards off him, but at the same time, his overall play deserved him to have a telling impact on the game in one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
But of course, that was kind of after things were over anyway.
We're done. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, the Regan Grace moment is more defining of this match than the Josh Griffin Theophage moment.
I think so. I think had it been the other way around, I can see Hull FC fans thinking it was exactly the right thing to do. I think
Josh Reynolds wouldn't have fucking stopped to think. He doesn't stop to think if someone's head's in the way.
I don't think he can. Yeah, I don't think he can stop to think, as he's proved a few times. Certainly with his questionable dating choices.
Yep, but but yeah, good entertaining game. Really, enjoyable for a neutral, even if I wasn't too satisfied with the outcome, because I'm not really neutral.
It was a bit which unfortunate disease do you want to die of, wasn't it?
Let's move on, shall we?
I'll tell you what, though, actually, I actually wanted Hull FC to win because I was looking forward to seeing Hull FC at Wembley and seeing them cry on the telly, but that was not to be. Now it's going to be a different thing. Yeah, moving on to the second semi-final of the afternoon. It finished Castleford 35, Warrington 20, having been 19-0 at half-time. Chris the Ken Doll was your referee. Do we have anything out there disciplinary on this one?
No, despite there being a sin bin in the game, nothing came out of the disciplinary. So, we'll move into the fan views. And Karsten got in first because he lives in the future. He said, Classy Cass won their best style, while the Wire proved to be the chokers again. Warrington fans have to further live with the chinless, as it looks like Mr. Powell will stay east of the Pennines. Will Rob get sober enough to get a match review in time?
It's a fair question. Aidan Stalker said, I think Gareth O'Brien had a bit of fun out there today. I just hope Jordan Turner used up all his tries before the final.
No, he's a try machine this year. EFC78JU said, just like the Huddersfield Giants game, dreadful first half as we got 0 to Castleford, and then in the second half we started scoring tries and bringing the game to them, but still they got the tries and the conversion kicks to seal a spot at Wembley versus St Helens. All of us Wire supporters will be backing you, glory Castleford Tigers, and mostly so will your fans that will be there today and the ones on July the 17th.
POB the Vikings said a great win from Cass and well deserved. The better team on the day.
Yep, DG Knight said, loved watching that live from 5,000 miles away and great to hear some real fan noise. Cass looked well up for it today. Every player looking to be giving it everything. Turner, my man of the match, looked unstoppable close to the line, but plenty of others had their best game of the year too. JSL and Shenton to name just two.
Yeah, Mark Butler said the best Cass performance in a big game in years, surely. While the price here at Warrington has probably promised more than it delivered, you expect to see them turn it on in the Challenge Cup, but they never had a sniff. I strapped myself in for a big turnaround, and when Cass lost a man for 10, they even turned it on in that 10 minutes. They were really excellent.
David Hunter said, do Warrington know that you need to tackle? Soft try scores throughout this game from Cass, no resilience at all. Even when they started to chase the points, they kept giving up clean line breaks. Very disappointing. I feel like a bad omen for the teams I support in big games. Well, the teams you support are Parramatta and Warrington, so yeah. It's not a bad omen, it's just experience.
Fatboy_Rob was sober enough. Well, no, we don't know how sober he was, but he was able to complete a match review. He said, perfect first 40 from Cass, followed by a very good second. Cass moved the ball like they used to, and it paid off. Shenton was awesome. Pete was back to his best, and Turner continues to be the find of the season. They all played well to the point, and we could and should have won by more. I fully expect to get dicked by FC this week, but who cares? Hashtag Coif. Hashtag Wembley bound. Hashtag poor Gale.
Poor Gale.
Hashtag not your year.
That's another contender.
Hashtag pissing the cup. Hashtag fuck off Ralph.
Always in our shadow said, Operation Piss the League becomes Piss the Cup.
At Ethan Wade Journo, I haven't heard it from him for a while.
No.
Castleford looked like a different
if he still lives
side
in Preston.
completely.
I've not heard from him for ages. Anyway, sorry, go on.
I did see him on Twitter the other day, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was about. It says, Castleford looked like a different side completely compared to last week after many fans criticised players and Powell, even though it's the first real rough patch they've had in 8 years. Lads did exceptionally well to break down what has been a very good Warrington side. Clear to see how much the Tigers missed O'Brien and Evalds, both exceptional. Props to Shenton as well, who had a blinder.
Lee Whitnell said, we were outplayed and outcoached. I thought we might get back in it in the second half, but unforgivably managed to concede 2 tries against 12 men to kill our chances. The defeat was made all the worse by the fact that I was in a pub full of giddy Saints fans. It really is baffling how such highly paid and capable men can be made to look so inept.
And at Mike Webb, 58 rounds out by saying stunning display from Cass, but woeful defence from Wire. Jordan Turner must be the signing of the season. Can't remember Saints and Cass meeting in a final before, and it has the potential to be a classic. Scrap that for 1965 BBC Floodlit Trophy final. Cass 4, Saints 0.
We did get one more in on this actually, but he beat the rundown. But Neil Ormston got in touch and said, certainly not worth rushing back from a week away for. Credit Cass, whose expansive game plan was bold and well executed, though I think their luck playing the set restart lottery helped just as much. How slow was Wire's ruck? We were hugely disappointed in defence though. We'll be a big Cass fan on July the 17th now. Coif.
Coif indeed.
Yeah, what did you make of this one then, Tim?
I think 2 things. One, Cass absolutely turned up. They knew what they wanted. They wanted to walk away knowing that they were on their way to Wembley, and they absolutely did it. And I think Warrington, in particularly in their forwards, just didn't turn up. I just don't know where, name me a forward who really showed up in this game for Warrington.
How well Chris Hill has played so far this year, and he's saved his sort of 2019-2020 form for the semi-final. Cooper, I'm not sure if there's something else going on there. He missed a game, didn't he, recently? I don't know if he's fully fit and firing. And obviously they were without Jason Clark. I think the first game he's missed since he's joined the club. But yeah, the bench didn't do a great deal, did it, in terms of the forwards? So there wasn't that next level coming on and changing things. Philbin didn't have any kind of sway on the momentum, which is what his job is supposedly to be. Whereas the other way around, I just think, Sui Matangi actually looked like he should be playing every week when he hasn't been. It was good to see Alex Foster come back on the bench, and I think he was pretty strong. Bringing Watts off the bench was a really shrewd move, I think. It meant that you were bringing your best forward on when everyone else had the chance to give their all energy-wise, and then you're bringing your best player on. So I think that was shrewd, but he didn't have to really overcome much, did he? And no. O'Brien coming back into the side in the halves was a huge deal. I think he was maybe the pick of the 4 halves, and the other 3 are, the internationals.
Yeah, and I think Cass, you look at them, they all had at the upper range of their performances. There aren't many people in that lineup that didn't really deliver. And yeah, I think that the Mike Cooper point is interesting because I think there's obviously something going on, and the reaction and the body language after he came off, was quite telling. So something was definitely happening there.
Yeah, I do think there was a couple of